Hello, everyone. So it's time for the intuitive painting of the month for January, and I'm really excited. I'm going to start out, as always, with last month's painting, which is going home to one of the patrons on my Patreon page. The link's above if you want to check that out. So I'm going to be giving this one. This is the one we created for December. Same process. In a few minutes, I'll turn the camera around, and those of you watching live will be able to pick colors, and then we'll create a new painting. So this one for December is called It Became the Oracle Card. They all become a new Oracle card in the Sacred Journey deck. So that's what that looks like. Beautiful gilded Oracle card. They're hand stamped with the flower of life on the back. So this one is a new card. And it was called Run to Yourself. So these are the intuitive image that came through from the group's collective energy. And the card says, run to yourself. You who desires to be awaits beyond the fears that guard the gate. Leap, not with the body, but the mind. Accept the gifts you've been given and leave the rest behind. So that was a great message for December last month going into 2020, and here we are. So we get to see what's happening with the painting that we create today. But I'm going to draw a name. I've got names of the patrons who are patrons on January 1st. They get entered into a drawing. So I've got all these little... So let's see who wins. Run to yourself, and that'll get shipped out. The original gets given away. And let's see who wins. I'm so ready, and so is Lulu. Maybe a little. There's Lulu. She's super ready, motivated. All right, let's see who gets it. The winner is Dawn. Congratulations, Dawn. You've got Run to Yourself. So I'll be sending that out to you, and I'll let you know. So congratulations to Dawn. Yay. So how's everyone doing? Hey, Becky and Lynn. Linda, I see you. Hey, Tara. All right. So I'm going to flip the camera around now that I got a chance to say hi and do that. I love the drawing. So again, if anybody wants to enter to win the original for this month that we're about to create, check out the link above to Patreon, become a patron, and you'll be entered into the drawing automatically. So here we go. Flip this around, so bear with me for a minute while I get this set up. And we're going to create. How's everybody doing? How's your 2020 starting out? Let me know if I'm coming through. Hopefully you heard all that. All right, so it's going to be fuzzy for a minute because I'm going to adjust the camera. Yay, congratulations, Dawn. All right, bear with me while I, come on. Doesn't know what to do to focus on a white page. So I'll put this here for now. Bear with me. I want to make sure that everyone can see. So you should be able to see the 10, 11 over here, 28, 29 on this side. And it should all be in focus. Hocus pocus focus. All right. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, super intense energy. So I just went through like an upgrade. Hi, Courtney. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. All right. So this is how the intuitive painting thing goes, right? If any of you have attended a private session, it's very similar. Just through Zoom, you'll see all these colors here. And I'm going to ask you to just take a minute, do whatever grounding or whatever helps you to get into your heart center, put your hands over your heart, and just kind of take a few deep breaths. And then tune in to the colors. And whatever stands out to you first. So because we've got several people watching, I'm going to ask you to pick one, and I'll just start pulling them aside. Whether it's the color that stands out or the number, that's fine too. And we'll see where we go. I'll just start putting them aside until we have a nice palette going. All right, so if you mention more than one, I'm just going to take the first one you say. And chances are, if a couple of them are standing out to you, someone else will pick it too anyway. That's kind of how it works. All right, so let me start looking. And Becky says 2, 4, 8. And Courtney says 13. Lynn Van says 12. Okay, so I'm gonna make 2 my pick and give you the 8 because that seems like the one you wanted. Okay. Hi, Tara. I'm glad you could pop in. I'll get your number in there. All right, so 3 for Anne, 26 for Sarah, and 7 for Tara. Hi, Nalani. Glad you could make it. So I've got your 8 in there. All right. Let's see if there's a few more. Get my paintbrushes and that started. I'm so excited. Can't wait. I love the colors you're picking. Hopefully you can see them all right. Hi, Odessa, 25. So you're going with the 19? I like that too. Okay. Yeah, because the 8 was already there. All right, so if anybody's watching, you haven't picked a number, now's the time to speak up. I'm going to give it one more minute or two, and then we'll get going. And while I'm waiting, I think I'm going to pull a card. I was thinking I'd like to pull a card just for the group, just kind of, I don't know, for fun. Just a little bit of inspiration as we move forward here. All right. Shine on, Crazy Diamond. So this one says, your light, passion, and wisdom cannot be contained. The shadows of the past are an illusion, and laboring to cut them away only holds you there. Simply be here now. Yeah, I'm totally feeling that. Anybody else? Drop the past. Shine on. Be here now. Love it. All right, let's be here now. Let's create together. Love it. All right, so there's our colors. Woohoo! Next up, we got a paper. And do like that. Whew. There's some intense energy. You're absolutely right, Ann. I don't think it has anything to do with this is my 3rd cup of coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but all right. Give me a second to tune in. Okay. Feeling a definite, like, kind of swirly back and forth kind of. It's not chaotic. The energy is not chaotic. It's just very, very active. And I think it's moving out of this place where it was super dormant for a while. So it's like, woo, I almost see like these little, I don't even know how to describe them, like little creatures or something cute. When I say creatures, I mean sweet, cute little things kind of coming out of a hole in the ground, like up, running around. Whee! They're fun. Hey, Ann. Hey, Teresa. I don't usually do like a pouring media. No, I like that though. I might try it someday, but these are just craft paints. I like the consistency of them. They work well for me. I can get fancier ones, more expensive ones, but I don't know. I've been using these for like, oh my God, 20 years, and I like them. Yeah, the colors seem pretty evenly dispersed is not the word, but you know what I mean. So they feel like they're pretty balanced. Got that red down there. I run into a little red up there too. All right. Winter is here. You're right. Pardon me while I battle with the saran wrap. Okay. It's funny because I usually am like right away, I'm ready to spread it around. I know the motion, and I feel like I just want to kind of take a pause, like appreciate what is. So I'm just going to take a minute to kind of look at the kind of the shapes and the colors and how they exist as they are right now, and just kind of appreciate kind of the motion and the movement, the individual colors as they are individual, because they're about to kind of mix together and become one. And just the blue is kind of standing out to me. It kind of looks like it's like a little sperm, like an early, like one half of a creative coming together. And I think that's just kind of like where it is, like the seeds are planted and we're kind of in this phase of just about like activation. So, all right. So giving that a minute. And it's not so much like a motion, it's just kind of a blending. Sometimes it's like this motion, it might turn into that, but it just feels like just kind of a gentle blending of things. Letting the different part, and what I'm hearing now is like letting the different parts of your life kind of have their own space, and the edges just kind of come together. Boundaries, not in a bad way, blurring, but finding common ground between things. I'm hearing too, like, take your time. Like, I'm real anxious. I want to see it, you know, and I'm just hearing like, take your time, allow it to become. And I'm hearing the word gestation that goes back to that whole, like, it is a reproduction as we create things. In a way, it's a reproduction, but it's just like a child. Like, you're creating something completely new at the same time reproducing your own energetic signature. So whatever you're creating, you're like reproducing, you're duplicating in some ways, but in some ways it's completely new. I'm loving this area right here. I don't know if you can see it. I think there's a glare, but let me just show you. It's very swirly, but I feel like it's going to change a little bit. So let's see what we got. And I know I have a glare there. So this is an interesting little thing. I am, makes me feel happy. Me too. Happy. So I do kind of aim for a flat surface sometimes. So I usually use like facial tissue or Kleenex or whatever when I do this. I like it absorbs the paint, pulls it off. I get down to the nitty gritty. Totally out of Kleenex. So I'm using toilet paper, which kind of fits. I feel like it's like we're cleaning up. I feel kind of silly saying, like we're cleaning up our crap. Like, I don't know. Like I'm removing stuff. Like toilet paper feels very appropriate. Let me just put it that way for the work that we're doing collectively at the moment. Let's clean up the crap. All right, let's get. So Nalani's asking, do I aim for a flat surface? And yeah, I kind of do. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes it clumps in one area, and I view the paint almost like it feels a lot like our energy body, like the subtle energy body. And so I'm getting a little bit in my knees. I'm feeling like not anxiety, but it's like really intense energy in my kind of root, or like I want to run. So I feel the paint feels a lot like the energy body. So when there's buildups, I pay attention to that, and I use it as it's kind of telling me like where there's blockages or where there's buildups of energy, that kind of thing. So yeah, I do aim for a flat surface, but I also am just paying attention. It's not like that it has to be. I can have more paint on one side than the other. Here, I'm just getting down to, there's lots going on in this one. So what are you starting to see? One of the things I'm noticing is that there's a very clear edge sometimes, and there's a little bit here, but sometimes it kind of goes off to the side, but this feels very contained. And it feels really clear, kind of bright. It feels like the element of air or sky to me. And so I'm kind of suspending judgment to the end. I like to, do a full analysis at the end and allow myself to kind of suspend judgment or try not to attach too much meaning to it during the process, because it kind of just, it pulls me into this other thing. But I am feeling, like this air and happy clouds. Nalani says, yes, clear away the crap. Like a sunrise on beautiful vibrations. I love that. All right, so now I'm kind of want to sit with it, and I feel like there's like a profile here, like that's the forehead, nose, there's an eye, and so I'm going to kind of sit with that for a second. That comes up often, almost like a headdress or hair, kind of up here. Let's see what else is going on. I see some almost like an opening here. Definitely feels like sky. This little piece looks like a little feather coming down. I like seeing feathers. It kind of, what that says to me, so we all kind of speak our own language of symbolism. There's some general kind of collective ideas, but so my own personal definition or of the symbolism of a feather tells me to like honor your accomplishments, honor yourself, wear your feathers proudly as opposed to hiding them away. Clear sky, a wizard. So I'm just kind of reading your comments. Beautiful landscape, purple heart in the clouds. Oh, like that. Oh, a pirate. Wow. Like a lion. Yeah, I kind of feel that lion vibe. Yeah. Opening inside of a cliff. So I'm feeling a little like nature. I definitely feel like a single being somehow, whether it's like an animal, I just got, it just shifted in my head like it, just as I was doing that, I almost see like a head of an animal right here, kind of crouching down where this would be its backside on little paws right here. And that almost like a little nose. I don't, like a gerbil, hamster, bunny sort of animal, like a small animal. But so it's got like this kind of dual, it feels like a lion with a bunny in it too. So it's kind of got this combination. There's a ton going on here. So I'm just want to wait for it to kind of, like I said when I was putting it down, it's got tons of energy. So I'm kind of just waiting for it to kind of settle so that I can settle in on one, because it's showing me a billion different things. And so sometimes when I am getting so many messages coming in at once, I just simply ask it, like, what color do you want me to start with? Where should we start? And so it's showing me this yellow. Right in here. So I'm not really sure what it's going to become, but that's where it's pointing me to. And it's okay, you know, it's okay to create, and it could just end up just being a bunch of little lines or something like that, and it'll still be able to tell us a lot. So hibernation cave, dragon. Yeah, love it. Okay, so what I'm seeing is kind of how the yellow is on this side. I think it's actually like wings. I'm like shaking. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna zoom in so you can kind of see a little bit better what I'm working on. And just focus. That would be my phone. I'm going to put on some music. Give me 1 sec. So we have a little background sound so I don't feel like I have to constantly talk. Otherwise, I'll just ramble. Okay. So right here, right in that area, I'm doing these kind of just adding that in. This feels like some phoenix energy here. And now it's shifting me over to purple. Oh, in the purple with this blue. So this was the number 7. I like to just kind of note the number of the color that I'm inspired to use. And later I go back and pay attention to all the little details. When I'm writing the card, I kind of review, you know, what came up and when, as I reflect on the process. It's a little loud. Let me know if the music's too loud or not loud enough. It's interesting because I feel something right in here, but I'm just not sure what yet. But I feel like this is definitely got kind of this phoenix rising quality right in this area anyway. Lizard. Ooh. So the word lizard resonates, and it's like, I don't know if it's... All right, so it's moving. Moving. Right here. I'm trying to move so you can see what I'm doing without blocking it. Everything's just kind of like these bits and pieces. They're not fully developed. It's really an interesting feeling. So I'm feeling kind of like this dragon here. It's like it's like shifting. There's some of those spirals I was feeling. And now I feel like over here we've got this. Let's see what y'all's saying. Lizard. Hugging the phoenix as it's rising up. Oh, I see that. Yeah. Llama, dog, monk, horse and rider. Something is coming soon. That feels right. Turtle, three ladies. I love all your suggestions. Yes. All right. I'm feeling like butterfly up in there. So I'm going to, it feels like a monarch. I'll go right to it. I see another dragon's head right there too. Excuse me. So Sarah's saying 3 ladies, and behind the 3 ladies is a tower, and I can see that in my mind's eye. I can't see it on here yet, but it definitely feels like it's got all these kind of almost fairy tale qualities. So interestingly, the darkest color. So we talk about value, black and white, right? The black came out really easily. The white is a little bit of a struggle to get it out of the bottle, and that kind of goes along with this card that I pulled in the beginning. I'll show it to you. Shine On, right? So it's talking about laboring to cut away the past, but that's just an illusion. So there's kind of this dark and light with this one too. And sometimes it's just easier to focus on, it's only easier to focus on the negative past because it's become a habit, and because we're set up to kind of create equilibrium. And so it's just developed. I feel like there's kind of a development of new habits. Just dropping things, dropping our old beliefs and concepts of karma and past patterns, and just because, that kind of tendency to go like, I'm going to go dig up and figure out, like personal archaeology or whatever. I'm going to go dig up and figure out why I'm like this, instead of just, it's such a good it's such a good distraction from actually doing the work of becoming who you want to be now. And I feel like that's a big piece of that. Yeah, the dragons, I feel like they're kind of playing with this butterfly. Well, I'll add a little bit of this red in to the butterfly just to kind of add kind of a richness to it. Red's one of those colors that can be interpreted in a lot of ways, and I like to think of it as passion. So we'll just kind of tint the wings of the butterfly a little bit with some passion. See how that, I don't know if it's showing up for you, but it just really gives kind of a depth. And we can add in a little bit of the light color too. Almost feels like leaves, those butterfly wings. And that's what I was feeling earlier too with the nature. All right, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I feel like we're gonna work with a little bit larger. All right. this, what I was seeing as a dragon up here almost feels like a wolf to me too. This is kind of like, it's gonna get that quality. We'll see. So I feel like this one goes kind of like that. And I just don't want to emphasize it too much. It's funny how it just, the same thing that I was feeling before with this idea of letting things just be. It feels like there's this message of just, take your time, let things, you don't have to overly define everything right away. I love that this kind of phoenix is coming out of, so if this would be like the dragon head and the neck, and almost like where our solar plexus would be about right here for this dragon too. I like the idea of the phoenix being hugged, so I'm going to see what happens with that. Or riding on it. And again, I'm hearing like you don't have to. So in terms of like art, you don't have to. I don't have to define that. If I want to decide that that's a person hugging the phoenix, I don't have to make it look super realistic in order for me to decide that that's what that means. And that, I feel like that translates to our life too. Like you don't have to have everything fit into or look exactly the way it needs to be for you to decide that what it is or what you want it to be. I'm not quite getting all the words for that, but hopefully you're getting what I'm trying to say. And I'm kind of getting a duck vibe from this phoenix, which is funny because it's like, maybe the duck wants to be this almighty phoenix, and that's sometimes I like, maybe we feel like that sometimes. um, like maybe we feel like we want to be, or we know within us is this grand phoenix or this wonderful mythical magical being, but we just feel like a common ordinary mallard or something. But I guess that's what's kind of coming through is like you don't have to look like some, you don't have to have somebody else go, oh yeah, that's a phoenix, or tell you what that is. You can decide for yourself. So I'm being drawn to this heart right here. Now this reminds me a bit of, in November we had a kind of like a tree stump that had fire inside of it. It was in the shape of a heart, very similar to this. I feel like this is kind of touching back to that. So I'll take a look at that too when I do the analysis. Everything's just kind of a very subtle touch. That's what I'm noticing. It's just very, like everything's already there, and it's just a few little brush strokes to kind of bring it out without, sometimes it's like, okay, I got to paint this big thing over, and really, but everything is very, very flowing and blending together and kind of subtle, very subtle magic, very subtle influence. These are the words that are coming through, like influence and magic and power. Is very, like, dragons are super powerful. This one is very quiet. One of the things I noticed too was in the beginning when I first saw it, I was looking at right in this area and almost looked like an open mouth of the dragon. And then when I started drawing some of the features, that's when I saw the butterfly. So it was like kind of close your, it doesn't need to kind of be aggressive. It had kind of this aggressive open mouth, kind of like it was lunging. And now it's kind of almost got like this surprised, curious look, which is, I love that. And I feel like I want to kind of give it, I don't know if it will look the way I, it's like heart-shaped scales. Like I want it to have, in this blue. I love this blue. It's very vibrant. Even its nose is kind of shaped like a heart. There's a lot of love. A lot of love in here. Okay, I'm just going to kind of take a minute and see where we're at. Yeah, they are. They're kind of spiraling up together. Courtney, I agree. So Odessa says that the dragon reminds me of my cat so much. He's blind and only has one eye. And he has a very relaxed attitude and doesn't let anything in the past bother him. I also wouldn't be surprised if he saw himself as a dragon. I love that. Oh, your cat sounds awesome. Cats are awesome. Sarah says silence is louder than words, for sure. Tara says, maybe I'm tired. I can't see a phoenix or a dragon. Yeah, and that's the thing. They're really subtle, and I feel like that's part of what I'm wanting to. It's like, don't overdo it. Even this right here, it keeps flipping back and forth for me. Like, is that a hole? Is that sky? Is that going in, or is it something on top? It's just kind of allowing it to be whatever. Yeah, it just is. It's got this really interesting. I keep hearing subtle, and I want to say, and I'm trying to find a different word, but yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And water. Just adding water. Drink water. It's my PSA. Drink water. Lots of water. I keep asking it, like, what more do you want? And it's like, what more do you need? That's kind of keep hearing, like, what more do you want? What more do you need? And it's just, it's such a, you know, for me, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I love to understand things. Like I have this just drive to really get it. And when things are subtle, it's a challenge. And so this is challenging me because it's almost like it feels like accepting what is, you know, accepting where we're at, accepting that it's not going to be a complete picture. And I hate that. I'm not gonna lie. I like when things are super clear. I like to know everything and be in control. And so it's you know, a little bit of this trusting the process, which is so much easier to do with art than with, you know, some other things. And that's okay. So I just feel like that's just a little itty bitty, a little line here, a little line there, and that's just kind of what kind of our creative process right now is going to be like. Get a little bit of an indication over here, and it's not going to come all at once. I got a new phone, and I don't know how to make it completely silent. So many little things. So this will be interesting for whoever gets this one. It'll be fun for them to, just like if you know, if I were to do a private reading for you when you get your painting, I always recommend you sit down and journal with it. So whoever ends up with this one, if you're watching it, make sure you sit down and journal, because there are a lot of messages in here that may be just for one person. I'll put a picture too, you know, so look for when I post a picture of it. So there's some things that are just, you know, they're beyond words. So since this red heart up here showed up, it's just been like hearts everywhere. So much love, so much love. All right. Sit with it for a second and just see if there's anything else it wants me to paint, but I feel like it's pretty much done. She's holding on, right? Oh my God, that's so awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in and just give you the, let me see if I can focus a little. Let's do it with the camera. All right. No. I swear I didn't do it. Okay. So top to bottom, here's a close-up. And I'm just seeing so many things. It's really wonderful. I wonder if that, yeah, so see, this is shifting and changing too. There's like a, damn, like there's never sirens here in my neighborhood, so it's a little crazy. This looks like a dragon kind of coming down, or like a wolf or something, like eye, nose, ear, right by that feather that I was feeling. But it also, I'm seeing like a head and torso and something coming up from a person. So there's so many different ways that all these little shapes can go. Lots going on. And it just feels like potential, like leave it in the potential. You don't have to define every little thing. And even like these hearts that I painted in, these were kind of like just indications of hearts. And now it kind of makes, there's some faces and different things going on. So a lot about potential here. As we get down, so here's the heart that kind of was already there that I just all I did was add this blue and added a little bit of lighter color. And then all the hearts started coming up. And it feels like, you know, it went from kind of this attack and aggression to interest and wonder and really like compassion or something. So like fueling this growth. And there she's holding on. And so again, it's almost like my mind can flip back and forth to whether this is an opening, but it definitely looks like a form of someone kind of holding on. But I'm wondering too, if we're holding on to letting this phoenix, are we holding it back to the way growth is supposed to, you know, do we think of like this kind of renewal and growth? Maybe there's a different way. Maybe there's something different there. And I'm almost seeing another phoenix back in here, kind of taking shape, rising up. This to me feels like a music note. And there's like something in here too. I'll let you all decide what it is for you. The face that I saw here, you know, I don't want to zoom out again right now, but when I first put it down, I saw a big face. I'm seeing an echo of that right here. So there's some of the close-ups. And then here's, it's so subtle. It's really neat. Ride the phoenix. I like it. And I almost, I'm real tempted to kind of do this face and then this face here. I don't know if you're seeing it. But so I'm going to just kind of roll through and do like a quick analysis. So this is similar to what I would do, kind of a summary if I were doing a reading for you. So this is for the group. This is for the collective for the month of January. I hope it's focused. Let me just double check. All right, I think that's pretty well focused in. Okay. So I'm going to look at the top and bottom. So the top part, so if I draw a line in the middle, the top part is like active vibration. The bottom part is inactive vibration. You can think of it as like conscious and subconscious, or awareness and, you know, not quite in awareness. It could also look, I mean, if you want to put it in linear terms, it could be like present and then kind of like future or coming up. Potential, that kind of thing. Potential is the word that I keep hearing with this anyway. It's just like there's so many things swirling around. Same thing what I was feeling when I put the paint down in the first place, which was like kind of let it be and let it take the shape that it's meant to shape without trying to control everything and define everything too tightly. The only thing that's super defined is right here, right? And so being up in this area of awareness. So this would represent things that we're already aware of, things that are already active in our vibration. I need a second paintbrush. There we go. So if we have the line right here, we're pretty aware of this, like, change coming maybe, or rejuvenation coming. Definitely this feels like a metamorphosis. So probably, most of us watching are kind of like, okay, I'm ready for change, super ready for change. It's on the nose. And I think that it's like this is just this big open space where the dragon's mind would be. So it's like this open mind, open to the sky. And then right on the forebrain is this heart, this very, what's the word I'm looking at? It's almost visceral. It's like this, I'm not finding the right word. It looks almost like an organ. It's like this beating heart, like right on the forebrain, like this emotional center, and which changes. It kind of changed the shape, and that actually allowed to define a few of the scales and different things like that too. So it's almost like this infusion of, or acknowledgement of, our compassionate mind and seeing things in a new light. And that's what I was feeling too, was this allowing, like, I didn't even paint in the mouth. So it's really not about what we say or how we express, but how we see and perceive, and different senses. So this nose is really prominent, and it's in the shape of a heart. And what's interesting to me is, like, our olfactory senses, our sense of smell, goes to a completely different part of the brain. It's like its own circuit. All the other senses of sight and hearing and those kind of things, they all route to the same place, but our sense of smell doesn't. It has a different process. And so it's, again, I keep feeling like this, taking a new process, like doing it, doing something a little differently. And so as we move down here, so this is something that's just coming into our awareness also with this, and this is where I love the idea that it's like riding out. And so you have to decide what this means for you, but I feel like it's got this kind of illusion quality where it is this figure holding on where there's nothing to hold on to. It's coming out of this area of, like, personal power. And is our personal power what we think it is? Those are the things that are coming up. Is our personal power, it's a quiet power, and it's in kind of contrast to this phoenix, which is like very, when I think of a phoenix, it's quite the show, it's quite the demonstration of power, of this rising up and this light. It's like a light show, like, where in contrast, I don't know, it feels like I just keep hearing subtle and gentle and compassionate. And so it's kind of finding that, is there a whole, so, and yeah, there's a couple other things that are coming up that I think are for me and not for the collective. So I'm just gonna kind of go, what is this? This looks like a lobster. And when I see lobster or that kind of thing, I'm thinking other realm. I think of, like, the tarot interpretation of it's like kind of moving between realms or dimensions, or that kind of thing. And that's almost at the, like, spine, at the core, or spine of this dragon snake creature. Down here would be, so here's that line of awareness again. Down here would be what's coming up. And all of it, there's nothing really defined. There's a few little hearts. And we've got some, gosh, this almost looks like, that looks like a ballerina to me. I mean, so this is something, I'll put a picture. I think I'll take a photo, like a high-res photo of just the bottom, and post that so y'all can look at it closely and sit with it for a little while, because I feel like there's so much potential and nothing set in stone. And that's kind of, so this will be something for you to look at. I'm seeing little birds flying. It's almost like I could walk into, there's like a little mountainside. There's more sky down here. I mean, there's so much going on. I could sit here forever and do that. But instead, I'm going to kind of look at the left and right now. So left and right would be kind of like left brain, right brain, you know, that kind of idea. Masculine, feminine, just like kind of, so it'd be like this duality. And so on the right side, what I'm painting on the right side represents the left brain processes. So it'd be linear, practical, more masculine action energies. And that kind of fits actually. This feels masculine, this feels feminine in terms of like this is receptive and this is more action oriented. And so what's happening here with this butterfly, which is the main figure, is on this logical, linear, practical side, but kind of touching this spiritual, non-linear, intuitive, creative side, receptive side. And so there's kind of like this kind of almost a crossover or touching. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And I feel like this change is falling into the realm of like practical daily life. How am I living my life? What do I want my daily life to be like? Even as specific as where do I want to live? What do I want the environment to be like? How do I want to nurture my body? How do I want to nurture my spirituality? What's my, you know, I feel like those are a lot of questions that are coming up for people redefining. And just as I'm saying that, this right here looks like a keyhole to me. So it's like, whatever, so it's like finding the key, and that's kind of the energy I was feeling, was like I want the answers, I want the answers. And the overall feeling I keep hearing from this energy is to really accept what is and let it take its shape by focusing on what you love. And that's where we're over on this side, on that intuitive side. Like intuitively, you know what your heart needs, and tuning into that. That's like on the nose. What does on the nose mean? Does that mean like, yeah. So yeah, those are some of the things that are coming through. I'd love to hear what you think. I'm going to post a picture and I'll see what the card comes up with. So again, I'll sit and the words just come from the image, and usually just you know, I kind of step aside, let my, it's like automatic typing or whatever. Oh, I like that, Courtney. Phoenix has taken her out of her comfort zone. There's a playful kind of love. She's ready to blossom as a butterfly, to accept the love, accept the change. Love that. It's great. All right, I'm going to get that post out there so we can start talking about it. You can get a better, because I don't know how good this view is. So I want you to see all the little, there's so many little details to play with. So I love that choice of words too, Courtney, the playful kind of love. I like that. That feels very right to me. And so if anybody wants to enter to win this painting, make sure you sign up for Patreon before the end of the month. If you want to learn more about the cards, there's a link up there to my website. So thank you so much for tuning in. It was so great to be back. Sorry for the delay. And I will talk to you again soon. Have a great night. Bye.